John McKay, Liberty Aid Academy. Isn't this our country, right? There's a trust called the In God We Trust. It's parading around as a country. Uh, Before I get into that, let's just do an update here. We're having a glitch on our update on our prices. You can still get the 997 trust for 997. That's going to change quickly whenever we get this glitch fixed. And I'm going to go back into this video. Isn't this our country? Isn't this our country? Isn't it the United States? Don't we hear that story? Isn't that a story we hear every day? I'm sorry, but if it's our country, doesn't, oh, it's our country, right? That's it. It's our country. How would we have to pay for real estate? I don't understand. I can anyone help me out with this? Like, if it's our country, how do we have to pay for real estate? Can anyone help me with that? I don't understand. Like, whose country is it if we have to pay for real estate? We're Americans, right? How come we have to pay for real estate? I don't understand. I'm lost on that one. Can anyone help, please? I'm lost. So, I've been doing some soul searching here. I've been leaving out. I made a price change. It's only at $24.97 to get the trust and all the courses, right? The McKeag Mastery Trust. It was supposed to go to $34.97 on March 1st, but this is what's going to happen. On May 1st, we'll do it on May 1st. It's going to go to $34.97. The trust is going to go to $19.97. That's what's going to happen. All right. And then I made a decision not to add some of the more controversial courses that I had over on I'm sorry, JesusChristTrust.net. But what I'm gonna do is, because those people got those courses, some people did. I'm gonna house them on Liberty Aid Academy. I am gonna add those 4 courses in, and I'm gonna do it May 1st. Okay, May 1st, we'll get it all done. My tech individuals on a break for 2 weeks, and we'll get this done by May 1st. Okay, May 1st, I'm going to get these 4 courses that I decided to leave out. I'm going to put them back in because you know what? Isn't this our country? So I'm going to get foreclosure success is going to come back in it. The debt forgiveness is going to come back. I've been doing that more than a decade successfully for people with all the testimonials and so on. And I'm going to be adding in uh, the child support solution, and I'm going to be adding in one more. Let's see, what is it? Sorry about that. Let me remind myself of what it is here. No detainment. How to not be detained to go to jail. I'm going to add those courses in because you know what? And I'm gonna relaunch this on May 1st. I'll get all the courses in. I was like, I got on the fence, so I got to get a law degree, and you know what? I got some feedback from people. Really, one of my massive opposition who just comes up on the channel to give me a hard time. I got some feedback, and I was like, you know what? Foreclosures are up. They're skyrocketing in this country. Debt is skyrocketing. Uh, Repos on cars is skyrocketing. Everyone's in trouble. So I'm going to have to put this information out so I can help people with it. Because a lot of people are experiencing this. So I do need to help them out. And so on May 1st, the trust is going to be 1997, and the McKeag Mastery Trust is going to be 34.97. That's what it's going to be. So We'll get this all done on by May 1st. All right. So right now, McKeag Mastery Trust is at $24.97. It didn't go up $34.97. The trust is at $9.97. I suggest, you jump in and do that before we make the change. But we're going to make the change over on uh, May 1st, and I'm going to add those 4 courses in. That information has been working for people, and I see the struggle out there, and I'm just going to have to do it because no one else has solutions, you know. And I just need to help people with that. I'm here to help people with information that works, and so I'll be going over this, and we're gonna have a relaunch on at the upgraded price, 34.97, with those 4 courses added in to the McCag Mastery Trust. So I'm gonna make this worth your while. I'm gonna give you everything. I'm not gonna hold anything back, and so that's just the way it is. So I'm sorry about taking a minute to think about it, but really, I got to go get a law degree and deal with these copyright sealers because they're just destroying people's lives. And so that's just, more of a burden on me, but I'm just going to have to deal with it. So let's get back into this. Isn't this our country? Isn't this our country? Like, the foreclosure success methods have been working for everyone that follow what I've been saying. Okay, this happened the first time I had complete success with this. Uh, the guy didn't do a testimonial. I asked him to do it, and that would help him if he did a testimonial. I wish he had done it, but it was an unusual circumstance. It was a veteran and someone with poor credit, and so I was like, if you do a testimony, I'll help you out with all this. So I helped him, and he didn't bother to tell his story, but I'm going to have to tell how I learned 100% how this worked, you know? And so this guy, he had poor credit and he was homeless. And this was a number of years ago because I had been homeless, so I had a real big heart for people that were homeless and solving that problem because I experienced it myself. So I was like, okay, do this debt forgiveness stuff, and this will clear your credit, and which he done. And then he got a credit card, and it had a $500 limit because he had a thin file, so he couldn't right off the bat get, even though his credit score was really good, he couldn't right off the bat get a high limit credit card because you need a certain amount of creditors on your credit report, and then once you have that, then you get it built up, and you can have a higher limits. But this he just got one credit card, and he was like, okay, my credit is good. So he asked his friend, um, hey, if if I get a shed, can I put it on your land and live there? And his friend said, yeah, no, you could do that. And so his credit is good. He gets up to the shed store near him, and he's like, I want your biggest shed. Like, he's like, what's your biggest shed? I want to get it. And the guy's like, it's that one. And so he got it on credit, did 100% on credit, didn't pay a penny. Guy brings his shed out, puts it on the land, and he had been, because he'd been homeless, everything he owned was in a storage unit. So he used that $500 credit card, and he went and got to Enterprise rental car and got a van for 3 days. So he took that van, and they went to and when he went to Enterprise, he said, hey, listen, uh, I just got a credit card with $500 credit limit. That's all I have. And so don't charge me every day for the credit card because you're going to shut down my credit card. You're going to cause me a problem. So don't do that, okay? Just charge me at the end. And the guy at Enterprise was like, sure, no problem. We'll do that. You have good credit. It's okay. So he rents a van and go picks up the stuff over the storage place. And now his shed is on his friend's land. So he brings all this stuff over to the shed and gets there, sets up, takes a long day, sets up a bed, has a night's sleep, right? He wakes up, and Enterprise has hit his credit card, shutting down his credit card. So he's got to call the bank and get it turned on, and then it's like the weekend, that he's homeless and has no money. He only has his credit card. You see what I'm saying? So he's using it to eat and so on. So he's like, hey, listen, you can't do this to my credit card, stop doing it. And the guy's like, oh, our bad, we won't do it again. And so he does it, they shut down his credit, they charge his credit card again. And so he can't eat because he can't use a credit card. And he's like, screw it, you don't do what I said, I'm keeping the van. So, it only had so much of a credit card limit. So, he's just like, screw it, you can't get more money off that credit card. And so, because they had like maxed it out, try to charge him. And so he didn't bother driving the van back. And so after a certain amount of time, he's living there, and the shed guy comes by, who gave him the shed. He's like, "Hey, listen, you didn't make your payment on." He's like, "Well, I'm not going to make my payment because I told him this is how you beat foreclosure. This is how you get a home from not being stolen." And so he followed my methods, and so the guy come by, "Hey, you owe me money and stuff," and he's like, "Well, I'm not paying. You know, uh, this debt I don't know, right? It's like banker debt." And so, uh, guy calls the cops and send them by, and he explains to the cop, "Hey, it's like the guy never signed a contract. I don't know the debt, because he did a financing agreement through a separate organization, not from the shed guy. You know what I'm saying? He didn't take the money from the shed guy directly. He got it from a financing company that the shed guy uses, you know, and so he sent the cops by to like tell him, hey, you got to bring the shed back, and he's like, no, I'm not doing that. He used for the methods to block the seizure of real estate, and so he explained it to the police, the methods, and the cop ends up leaving, and so this goes on for a little bit, and so he calls. That cop ends up calling the other police to come out, and so the sheriff come, state police, and SWAT come out to this guy's shed, and he's like standing in the doorway using the methods that I've explained to him that work. And he's standing there and said, no, I'm not leaving. I'm not giving you my stuff. I'm not giving you this building back. I'm not doing it. And he follows the methods I explained to him to use. And the cops and SWAT are laughing at him and all this stuff. Like, man, that's not going to work for you. That ain't going to work. And so the sheriff finally gets angry and goes to handcuff him, and is frozen in place by God. And so now the guy's all red faced, and they all freak out, and they back up away from the guy. And so they're like, well, we're going to take the van. And he's like, it's not my van. I don't want the van. I just didn't want them to mess up my credit card and my credit, you can have the van. Here's the van. It's not my van. And so they take the van and leave, and they never bother this guy again because, these foreclosure success methods work. When the cops, as SWAT, as sheriff come to steal your place, I know it works. And so that's why I'm adding that back in to, the courses that we're going to have at Liberty Aid Academy. And that's why it's going to also be a part of the McKeag Mastery Trust and so on. Because these courses, these methods I have, and, I can go on and on about the debt forgiveness stuff, like how you clear your debt and stuff. I've had testimonials for well over a decade of that, helping people. These methods work, and with all the turmoil going out there and this hoax of, that this is a country. How is this a country? I don't understand. Like, please, again, can somebody explain that to me? I don't understand how that works. Oh, it's our country. Well, how can you pay? Why do we have to pay money for real estate? Like, the story is it's our country, right? We own, in other words, the people are the country. That's the story. That's the story we hear. That's the story. Okay. So how can we owe money for real estate? I don't understand. It's our land under the story, right? It's our country. We're free, freedom in America. This country's free. All that nonsense, right? Well, it's true. If you use my methods, they're not going to take your real estate. That's a fact. But I mean, the story we hear. Oh, you vote. Oh, we're going to vote. And then what's the story? Oh, when you vote, you pick a small number of individuals, right? And they manage the country, and that's more effective than everyone managing the country by themselves, as individually. That's the story. Well, okay. So then, how can we own money? I mean, how do we not own everything that generates electricity? How do we not own the water? How do we not own the oil that's here? How do we not own all the minerals, right? How do we not own that? How do the people not own that? How come we have to pay for it? Doesn't make any sense unless this is slavery, you know, unless somebody has made us their slaves, because otherwise, if it's a free country, in other words, this is a country and the people are the country, how can those people pay for real estate? How? I don't understand how. Who owns the land if the people don't own the land? Can someone please explain that to me? You see, this is actually slavery to the bankers. The people that, how can your votes get counted? That's a hoax. Votes are never counted. In other words, had to fight them for years. I had a gram of marijuana on me so many years ago. I got put in jail and had to fight that for, you know, 36 months in a row. I had it up one time. I was fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting that every month for 36 months in a row, right? And then what happened the day I got arrested for that, right? 1 gram of marijuana, crazy. And so my face and that thing was plastered all over the internet. Oh, I never had a charge in my life for anything. I never had a run in with the police or anything. And I was like, 50 years old then. I'm 63. So, I mean, how is that even possible? My name's plastered everywhere, right? So the thing is, well, with voting, you have privacy. We don't want to mess it up. I didn't have privacy when you caught me with 1 gram of weed. 1 gram. One single gram, right? Like, you plastered my face all over the internet everywhere. Privacy is a hoax, right? Everyone who's had some, problem with the law, privacy is absolutely not, it's the opposite. They're trying to threaten you by putting they destroy your reputation in every single way. And so privacy is a joke. Like, obviously, they don't count votes and never have and never will. Obviously, this is the In God We Trust. Unless you're trustee of the In God We Trust, your vote isn't counted. Period. Now, who's the only trustee of the In God We Trust? The devil, right? We. The devil is the only trustee, and they follow the devil. If you don't know that, you haven't interacted with them enough. The police all told me. I've all told them to their face, you worship the devil. They're like, so what? So what are you gonna do? The judges, the lawyers. I've been in court. I've initiated, right, almost 50 court cases on my own, initiated on my own against the bankers, right? And they just say right to my face, we worship the devil, and that's it, right? They worship the devil. The everyone that works at the government, the police, the lawyers, they all worship the devil, and I've just simply told it to my face. They don't care. They're just like, what are you going to do about it? I'm like, I'm going to pray for you right now. And then they're like, the spiritual battle is real. But, the actual, situation that we find ourselves in is a real spiritual battle. And my methods work to overcome, you know, their, their situation that they created on us, which is making us their slaves. Right? I'm sorry, it's a free country. We have to pay for real estate. We have to pay for food. Isn't the food grown here? I don't understand. I don't understand. You're supposed to be managing the resources in a better way because there's a smaller group of people that manage resources. That's the right. We vote for you, right? So you're going to manage it better, right? Okay, so the people that are doing the resource management out there. Let's say you're making electricity and so on. Okay, so you're printing dollars. How is there debt for a country? I don't understand. How can there be debt for a country? You're literally printing dollars. Like, you're making dollars on the spot. How can you owe money? How can the USA owe $33 trillion? How is that a possibility? You literally create the money on the spot. So if you create the money on the spot, would you be paying the people that make electricity? Oh, we'll be paying people that out there harvesting the minerals. Oh, we'll be paying for people that create the housing and houses, right? You just pay them money, right? You pay them money, and that's it. So that we still own it all, and you give out the resources to everyone. This isn't communism. That would be if there was a free country, and you're managing the resources of a free country. In other words, free. It's free. It doesn't, there are no bills attached to the things. That's what free means? Does anyone know what free means? Free means you don't pay for it. That's what free country, you don't pay. It's free. That's what the word free means. Means you don't pay. That's what free country means. Do you know what free means? Does anyone know what free means? If you've forgotten what the word means that is free, right? Freedom is when you don't pay for things. Obviously. It doesn't mean something other than free. How can free have another meaning? It doesn't. It's a free country. So, I mean, if you're president, right, as someone said, oh, hey, you owe us a bill. You know, the USA owes us money, $33 trillion. You have the largest military on earth, right? You have the largest military. So, if someone were to say you owe us money, the country, wouldn't you as president, wouldn't your job be to be like, call the military and say, oh, go murder someone because they say it's not a free country. They say we owe them. So wouldn't your job as president be to say, go make them change their mind or kill them? Wouldn't that's what a military is for, right? You keep it a free country. In other words, you don't pay, it's free. Isn't that what a military is for? Isn't that what, you know, politicians are for? You keep it a free country. Am I missing something here? Is anyone missing something? That's why I think it's important for me to add these methods back into Liberty Aid Academy to actually make it a free country so you don't pay. You see? Why would you pay? It doesn't, we're in a free country. So my methods had to be created. These spiritual methods, these legal methods, these financial methods, they all had to be created. They all work. I have proof, right? It got testimonials, not just my proof. I have proof of all this stuff working. They had to be created, and God backs them, right? Because this is a free country. You can't just say it's free and it's not free and then just start charging everybody, because that's slavery. See the difference between freedom and slavery? One is it doesn't cost anything. One is it's slavery. That's it. You literally create the dollars. You print them, you make them, right? There's a certain printing cost. We could just pay the printer here. Okay, we made $100. Yeah, for every $100 we have to pay, I don't know, a penny to the creators of the money. Here, to the printers. Here you go. Here, Federal Reserve. Here's your penny for every $100 that's created, or whatever, right? Costs you a small fee. Every $100,000 costs you a penny. Every million costs you a penny. Let's just say something like that to print it, right? Or you buy printing presses. The government, you're like, well, it's just cheaper for us to print it, so let's just print it. You know, there's some costs involved, and for those people we bought the printers from, we'll just, here you go, here's dollars from the last batch of dollars. There you go, right? That would be what you do, right? Because you're literally creating the money, right? You're the country, so you create the money. You just, here are the dollars, we paid you, right? And say if you're the government, you give yourself license to say, oh, well, let's add 1% to the money supply every year to pay for everything. We'll pay for the electricity, we'll pay for all the stuff that's being created. And so, you know, it would be a 1% inflation rate, right? Because you're inflating the money supply 1% per year. That would be what you do if it were a free country. The financial system would be incredibly simplistic. You wouldn't owe money to anyone since you create money. So that's why I'm kind of forced to have to add back in these courses into Liberty Aid Academy, and we're going to have a relaunch at $34.97 of the trust with all these, you know, courses that work that I have proof they work. I got testimonials they work. And so they're just going to have to go back up on the website, and people need this information because it's not a free country, and we're slaves of the In God We Trust owners. /USA Inc. We're the slaves of the devil, and so these methods get you out of that slavery. It is an option, and I'm going to keep giving it as an option. I think it's very affordable option to remove all these problems and situations. Even with just the EBT card itself as one method of the many, 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 many methods, you know, that pay back money or save money. That's $3,600 a year. That's the cost of all the courses and the trust and everything all together. That's not even getting out of taxes and just on and on and on and on and on with the solutions that I have. Uh, but I feel like, and you're also, when you go to checkout, you can click and it's like, well, do you want to do a payment plan? You could do that when you check out. So look for a relaunch on May 1st. We'll get all these extra courses in there. I'm going to law school, and I was just like, man, I got to support this and help people out with this. And sometimes people don't listen to me. They're incredibly simple methods, and people just don't get in touch with me on the classroom. And it's like, I can't help you if you don't ask me questions. So, and again, come May 1st, we're gonna have all the methods for if you want to upgrade. Hey, I got your trust, back in 2017, and I want to get into all the courses and everything. We're gonna have a lesser upgrade price for you. If you're a previous student that got into the trust, or hey, I got the McCag Mastery Trust bundle X number of years ago, and you didn't have all these courses. We're gonna have an upgrade price that's less than buying the whole thing. We want to help our students who've helped support the school and my work. And so we want to give you, it's going to cost less for you to get in. And it's even going to cost way less if you would do a testimonial for us. Because everyone's testimonials, that's what sold you on starting here at the school. So that really helps out people, all right? So we're going to do a relaunch come May 1st. And it's going to have all the extra new courses and the super old courses like the debt forgiveness and the foreclosure success. Those are really old courses that have been working super successfully for many years for people. But they just took up so much of my time. But you know what? I'm tired of everybody being slaves, and I'm sure you're tired of it too. So I'm going to keep supporting people with using these methods while I'm in law school, because I have to go to law school to to go against all these people stealing my copyrights for all this information. Okay, it doesn't work if you stole my copyrights. It won't work for other people. It works if you get it from me. I support it. I give you the answers you need as you go through this process, through the classroom and so on. So, you know, I realize I'm doing a switch up, but my heart for people is just, I can't see them treated as slaves. Somebody's got to care enough to end this slavery and use methods that work and give them out at an affordable price and support them and, let people know, hey, these work. Gather the testimonials from the many people that have had success, by giving discounts and so on. Uh, I have to do that. That's just, I can't help it. My karma has to have a, like, I'm not going to go down as a slave that, the good slave. I'm going to go down as the worst slave they ever had. I'm going to actually help people using legal methods and spiritual methods that completely work for people that have been tried, true, tested over many years. I'm going to keep giving them out. So look for a relaunch for the McCag Mastery Trust. It's right now at $24.97. You can still get in at a really reasonable price. I recommend that you do, but come May 1st, it's going to be $34.97. Come on, right? Get out of this slavery. I'm here to help. So is Liberty Aid Academy, all right? God bless your success.